Welcome back to another edition of Research Fantasy presents our MLB DFS Pitcher Picks for Tuesday, August 15th, 2017. We've got a nice slate of games tonight. I'm excited for that. I feel like I say it every week, but I guess I'm one of the few people in the industry that really loves these 14, 15 game slates. It really seems to work out for me. I think maybe 90% of my winnings come from these types of nights, so this is why I tend to be excited on these days. I want to take a look at three pitchers, and they're not lacking in options if we're being completely honest. Let's get things started with Dinelson Lamet, 16.5 fantasy draft, 8,300 FanDuel, 8,500 DraftKings. Basically what you're paying for here is the strikeout upside going against a Phillies team that we know has a tough time hitting right-handed pitching. Lamet has flashed brilliance at points this year, and then he's disappointed the rest of the year, but nonetheless, he's in a good position tonight, and that's what you want to look for. I think that there's a good chance that on the other side of the mound, Mark Leiter Jr. is going to be someone that people look at, and I don't hate that. I actually really don't hate that combination for tournaments. It's worth noting in my article that I did mention Corey Spangenberg. Well, that's because Vincent Velasquez was initially announced as a starter, but when I was doing my research 3, 4, 5 hours after I wrote the article, it does appear that Mark Leiter Jr. is going to be getting the start, so I just wanted to make note of that. Next up, Dani Salazar, 23.7 fantasy draft, 9,500 FanDuel, 12.2 on DraftKings. Salazar definitely ripped my heart out last time. Good situation, just couldn't really get things completely done against the Rays. Gets a solid matchup against the Twins tonight. I'm willing to look at that outing as an outlier if you are. And I'm thinking that Salazar does still maintain one of the highest strikeout possibilities tonight. There are a lot of scary bats. Let me rephrase that. There are some scary bats on the Twins, but I think Salazar has the skill set and the potential to navigate around them in what should be a nice outing and fantasy score tonight. My favorite pitcher, though, Justin Verlander, 22.8 fantasy draft, 9,700 FanDuel, 11.8 on DraftKings. It's tough to want to go to Texas at this time of year and roll out the pitching, but the reality is, I think that when you look at the names behind the bats in Texas, these are all guys that Verlander should be able to have full control over. And if that's the case, he's likely to see not just a high strikeout total, but a high amount of innings pitched. And you could be looking at those accentuators, as I like to call them, on DraftKings with complete games and complete game shutouts. Now, look, it's hard to predict those types of things. In fact, if you're building a model that predicts it, you're either A, smarter than I am, or B, looking for fool's gold, because how do you know when someone is going to do those things? But I am saying that it sets up as a scenario where I could see that as being a legitimate possibility, and I want to have some Verlander. He's been pitching very well. The price really isn't too high, and he's not, especially on DraftKings, he's not near the top of the list. I think there's 3 people between him and the top, so I guess on a 15-game slate with 30 pitchers, yeah, that is near, but I'm just trying to say he's not the highest priced guy. I think you get a break for where he's going and what he's been doing. That'll wrap it up for today. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. Check us out at researchfantasy.com. Follow us on Twitter at researchandwin, and join us again tomorrow.